thought what we'll do is we will start with the body of light meditation, because in this death meditation, we're absorbing the constituents of the body from the grosser to the more subtle. So I think it's a little bit hard to jump straight into that. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. If you are sitting at your desk and you have your feet on the floor, feel the weight, the sensation of the feet on the floor, the sensation of your hands in your lap, the weight of your sits bones in your chair. And if you're sitting in your cross-legged position, you'll feel your feet underneath your legs. And maybe a couple of cushions if your if your knees are tight, hips are tight. Excuse me. And imagine you have your shoulders are aligned with your hips and your ears aligned with your shoulders as best you can. So you might want to imagine your neck is lengthening, your ears, little Dr. Spock ears are lengthening, and your head is gliding back in alignment with your shoulders. Now imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine you're just lengthening your spine, putting some space in between those vertebrae. And then just go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, and the back of the tongue, the jaw, the back of the head. And just relax the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Be aware of any sounds in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there. So if kind of a distracting object comes to your mind, try not to follow it with the mind, just allow it to be there. And then notice what's going on in your mind this morning, trying to put some space in between your thoughts. Be curious about what's there. Be objective. Try not to judge what's in your mind. Bring your attention to your breath. Noticing the sensations as you inhale and exhale. So these sensations you may notice at the base of the nose, in the nostrils, the tip of the nose. The air as you breathe in is a little bit cooler than the air you exhale. You may also be aware of the inhalation and exhalation around your chest cavity, the thoracic area. As you inhale, the diaphragm drops. As you exhale, it rises up. So you imagine this expansion is happening in a 360-degree, direction, all the way out. Expand all the way out. We're a little tighter in our upper thoracic area. So allow your lungs to fill there as well. You may also notice the rising and falling of the belly. So during the meditation, choose one of those 3 breath sensation areas. and bring to mind all these people of our life. So this equanimity meditation, this very short equanimity meditation, helps us. It's the first step on the path to developing compassion. So start with the people you love. Bring them to your mind. And then bring to mind those people you find a little bit irritating or you have aversion for. And then there's all of these strangers we pass every day. We don't particularly care about them. We don't think about them after we've seen their face. Not much. But due to this idea of impermanence, these relationships can be interchangeable. The loved one can become a stranger. The stranger can become a loved one, and so on. And regardless of how you feel about any one of these people at this particular time in your life, everybody is equal. They're just like you and me. They all want to be happy. Nobody wants to suffer. But particularly everybody is equal in this potential that they all have. Extraordinary, unlimited potential. So I think we'll do this meditation this morning for all these people of our life, all sentient beings. And also a special shout out here to Kimberly, who's inspired us to do this today. Thank you, Kimberly. So this meditation also, when I was doing some research for it, I came across a Professor Philip Golden, who's at UC Davis. And he's a clinical neuroscientist and spent quite a bit of time in India and Nepal, studying in the Namgyal Monastery, which is also one of His Holiness's monasteries. He distills this meditation beautifully. So I wanted to share that with you as well. It's the inspiration of it. So we start this meditation on the death process by contemplating the four elements of earth, water, fire, and air. And as we begin our death process, they cease functioning from the grosser to the more subtle. And at the same time, the five aggregates absorb. And also, at the same time, there are certain outer and inner signs that appear. So already that's probably a little bit esoteric. So we'll just keep going. I'll try and keep it simple. So when you meditate on the death process, that how they suggest you do it is in order to make the experience real for yourself, like a rehearsal for your own death. And in our tradition, it seems to be that this is kind of the main event of our life. And this is something that we do need to rehearse or think about or practice so it doesn't take us by surprise at the end. And the reason for that is because we need to have our mind in a really good space when we die. So you can imagine maybe you are in a bed, maybe in a hospital room, something like that. You'll maybe have one or two or three or four loved ones there. Maybe there's nurses there as well. Maybe you're on your back looking up into the ceiling, or maybe you're holding someone's hand. And there's many different meditations on death in many of the different traditions, in the Hinayana tradition, the Mahayana tradition. So this one specifically comes from the Mahayana tradition. So when we're contemplating these four elements, earth, water, fire, and earth. So earth, what is the earth element? What are the physical constituents of my body? And imagine them dissolving. And all the elements, the cells begin to shrink. And they slow down. And usually these cells in our body are moving at a very rapid rate. They're constantly in motion, continuously moving. So imagine they just slow down, slow down, slow down, and become still. So what you start to feel when this earth element starts to dissolve, your body starts to feel really heavy. It feels like you're sinking into the earth. And your outer body, the aggregate of form, the limbs become smaller, the body becomes weak and powerless, and the luster of the body just kind of, you're not as luminous. Your strength is no longer there. Your sight becomes unclear, and you're not really able to open your eyes or close your eyes. Everything's just very, very heavy. Everything's slowing down. And there's an internal sign, an appearance of mirages. So just meditate on that for a minute. Earth element. Water. The water element now dissolves. So what is water? It's all the fluids in the body, blood, lymph, cerebrospinal fluids. And they're normally continuously moving. And imagine all of that water, all of that fluid beginning to slow down and coming to stillness. Saliva, sweat, urine, blood, all becoming still, all becoming dry. And here your aggregate of feeling begins to absorb, and you can't experience feelings that accompany your sense consciousness. Pleasure, pain, neutral feelings. You're not really mindful of the feelings accompanying pleasure, pain, happiness, sadness. And your ear sense, you can't hear sound externally or internally any longer. And there's an internal sign of smoke. So that these little signs tend to, you'll see the first, the earth element as it dissolves into the water element, you see a sign of a mirage. As the water element dissolves into the fire element, you see the appearance of smoke. Water. Next, the fire element dissolves. So what is fire in the body? It's warmth. The heart and the blood are continuously generating warmth and distributing it throughout the body. As the warmth is beginning to dissipate, it becomes cold. So this fire element's losing its power. You can't digest food, you can't drink, and you're not really mindful of the affairs of people who are close to you. You kind of don't remember their problems, their day-to-day things. You can't remember the names of the people you're close to. Your inhalation is weak at this point, and your exhalation is strong and lengthy. And you can no longer smell anything. And the internal sign is the appearance of fireflies or sparks within the smoke. Now air. The wind element is dissolving, losing its power. It's literally the air, as in respiration, in breathing. Our breath is getting more and more shallow and then stops. There's no more movement. No more movement of air through the nose, through the lungs. There's no more oxygen being delivered to every cell in the body. So everything is slowing down into stillness. So the aggregate of compositional factors absorbs, and you can't perform physical actions. You can't experience smoothness or roughness. You're not really mindful any longer of your own purpose in the world. Any external activities. And your tongue becomes very thick. And then you have this appearance, internal appearance of a sputtering, candle about to go out. air, coming to stillness. And then a fifth element. This will be the last element we will look at today. So here is where the winds in the right and left channels above the heart enter the central channel at the top of the head. And you have this internal sign of white light, almost as bright as, sunlight on snow. So everything has dissolved here. All the gross levels have dissolved. Your name, yourself, words, language. There's no more thought. No more subtle thought or concept. Everything's stopped. Everything's still. So just imagine for a moment that level of stillness in your own body. Everything is slowed down. Cells have slowed down. Come to stillness. All the water in the body has come to stillness. The air in the body has come to stillness. The warmth in the body has come to stillness. Everything is quiet, just like fresh fallen snow. And now you can imagine, out of compassion, out of your enormous compassion, which is a wish for people to be free from suffering, you regenerate the energy of earth, water, fire, air, consciousness. These are the components of what makes up a human being. And they are generated and propelled back into shape, form, energy, just out of care and compassion for others. So in this practice, you have dissolved all of the elements and now re-energize them. Everything starts to move again. The cells, the fluids, the heat, the breath. So if you do this meditation regularly, and you can do it in 5 minutes, you start to get an appreciation of impermanence, the transient nature of our biology. Cells die. They're constantly dying and being remade. Neurons firing, stop firing. Thoughts arise, dissolve. Everything's in constant motion. Everything changes, which is a relief in a way. So appreciating impermanence is kind of amazing. It means that anything I use to identify myself is changing from moment to moment. Earth, water, fire, air, physical, non-physical. These are just momentary fluctuations. And the self that we project onto that is a choice. And if that's a choice, then that is freedom. We have 2 minutes left, so just meditate on that, just single point of concentration. Maybe think about this stillness and this regeneration, dissolution, regeneration, dissolution, regeneration. I did leave out the body of light meditation anyway. So let's just dedicate all the merit, any inspiration or any insights you may have had this morning to all those people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. Mary, thank you so much for hosting. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love. Nice to see you all. If you have any questions, does someone say
Thank
something?
you. Oh, it's Kimberly. That was one of the most beautiful meditations ever. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kim.
so much.
Okay.
I'm even going to look at you. I'm going to see if I can. Can you see me?
No, where are you? There you are. Oh my God, you're sitting. Hi, nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Bye.